upload it right now. So that is my apologies, folks. Here we go. PDF. Boom. Got this. Oh, well, maybe I don't have this, but you know what? This actually really plays into it. So we got this. There we go. All right, it's opening right now. Let's see here. All right. Well, anywho, I can get started without it at least. I may have to pause later to get it dialed up. However, but thank you all for having me here today. I really do appreciate that. I'm curious, first off, do our attendees have the ability to drop comments or social media reactions or anything like that while we're here? Oh, I don't know. Okay, well, I'm not seeing it. Let's see.
They do, or through the Veteran Social Summit website.
So you mean you all get to interact and play with this today? All right.
And well, also on social media.
Fantastic. Well, then tell you what's going to happen. I would like, if you guys don't mind, for those that have done your research, if you would drop in the chat, what speakers are you looking forward to most this week in the conference? Purely because I know that there are other people out there who would be like me that haven't done their research yet and maybe want to know who's coming up and I should drop into their class. If you're one of those people like me, give me some sort of social reaction so that I know you're there, mostly because that's what I would be doing. But let's see here. This is at least my 15th time speaking at an IVMF event, and I love absolutely everything about the culture that they're building. For those of you who don't know, because I'm clearly just dropping in, I don't know if Ryan and Henry have explained it, but IVMF, the Institute for Veterans and Military Families, is the smartest and the most intentional support organization that I know. And they're onto something big. They invest all their energy into the military community, and the reasons for doing so are backed up by the data, which they happen to have an entire research wing that collects, so they know the facts. They've learned that investing in military businesses is a sound investment because they invest in education, and you guys are strong. You guys are capable, and I know you're going to do great things because I get to witness it all the time. That's how I know all these gentlemen who are introducing me. And I do call them gentlemen. I say that loosely. Josh White, I was thinking white lightning gel. What do you think there? But anywho, activating your action plan. What does that mean? Well, I call it AYAP, activating your action plan. And it all came together as a solution. One thing you're going to realize about me very quickly, if you haven't already, I am ADHD AF. I am one of those lucky kids in the 80s that was undiagnosed. And because my ADHD flavor wasn't spicy enough, I went unnoticed. I wasn't hyperactive. I was the good girl who did what I was told. And I did well in school. So I didn't really fly hot on anyone's radar. But on the inside, my brain is like a friggin' freight train going down the Autobahn, barreling at about 1,000,000 miles an hour, and it's completely out of control. We didn't know what the internet was back then, but if I had to describe it to you now, it is like having 4,032 open browser tabs at any given time. Most of them are spinning on the circle of death, and one's doing the grocery list, one's thinking about other things that have going on in the house. Maybe there's at least 17 building a different business that I haven't yet started. Then there's 4 more that are building the businesses that I have. Gosh, one's tracking bills, and oh my God, my son can't match outfits. And we're, who am I picking up today? Am I picking up kid 1 at school and 2 has practice? Maybe it's picking up kid 2 and kid 1's at the team sport. I don't really know, right? But like, this is just a normal life in my brain every second of the day. Fold all that chaos into what we know about moving with the military, motherhood, and career-driven, nonstop, espresso-driven kind of attitude, and I was falling apart. But only on the inside, and no one knew that. Because I couldn't let the whole world know about my unfiltered brain noise because I was a good kid, right? I was celebrated for sitting quietly and raising my hand and following the rules and being a good girl. So I had to figure out how to cope. And I didn't even know that's what I was doing at the time, but it was. I have been reflecting now as a grown adult, and you know what I was doing while I was growing up? I was building coping mechanisms for how to handle everyday life and excel at it because, again, that's my flavor of ADHD. And I had to figure out the absolute best way possible to do everything to the best of my ability. And I know how unhealthy that sounds. It's wildly true. So thank you all for overselling me up front. It is a friggin' hot mess express in the back. But I'm a firm believer in Clifton Strengths. And if you're familiar with the Clifton Strengths scale, you wouldn't be surprised a bit to know that my top 5 are achiever, woo, communication, context, and maximizer. So what does that mean? I, Lauren Hope, am going to get done, right? Achiever plus maximizer and ADHD is an extremely powerful hot mess. And as a communicator, I'm going to tell you all about it. So anyway, activating your action plan. AYAP is my lifelong unintentional solution to ADHD. And this session is packed with my favorite methods for organizing and actioning all of the incredible information that you're going to pick up at this conference this weekend. So legal disclaimer, individual results may vary. Possible side effects may include the sudden urge for 14 businesses before lunch, scribbling notes you'll never, ever, ever read again, and random bursts of, I should start a podcast, and dizziness from trying 3 different sessions at once, compulsive networking with 200 new LinkedIn contacts, and confusing your to-do list with your if I win the lottery list, and enough coffee to make you talk faster than an auctioneer at a cattle sale. Consider yourself warned. Okay. At this point, I'm going to go for a dopamine drop. If you are with me, give me some sign here. All right. We're all going to conferences, and there's that conference high, right? Like I am absolutely looking forward to the Military Influencer Conference coming up here in under 2 weeks, very soon. And we get really high on that conference energy where we're dreaming of the possibilities, and it's really palpable. And I know y'all can relate if you've been before. We get high on all the amazing things that we're going to do. So my question for you is, what are you going to do with that conference energy? The reality is that most people attend conferences with really great intentions. And then, you know what? When they return home, everything goes back to normal. You go to the everyday churn of life, and life gets lifey. Y'all, I get it. I really do. I've already aired my ADHD laundry, and I believe that my hashtag Hot Mess Express will now follow me for the rest of my life. Challenge you to hold me to it. And I'm a mom of 2 boys. I'm an active duty military spouse, and we're definitely still moving. So God save us. In the last 4 weeks, I visited the pediatrician, urgent care, pharmacy, at least 10 unscheduled stops that were not in the plan. And I happen to be the available parent of choice. It happens. Life happens, right? That said, I don't think I'd be in this room today if I let lifey life get in my way with entrepreneurship. It takes grit and it takes persistence, and it's not a path for those who think it's going to be easy, right? Entrepreneurship is not easy, but it's my goal today to make it at least a little bit easier for you. There are far too many bumps in this lifestyle that no one should have to make every single mistake. I have made my fair share. I'll tell you about that some other time, maybe in the lobby bar at Mick. But in the meantime, let me help you out on the journey. So here's what we're going to do this morning. First, we're going to cover how to plan and how to make the most of your time at this conference. And then we're going to transition from planning to action. And we're going to go over an entrepreneurship roadmap so you can actually activate your action plan from the comfort of your reality. Let's see here. You know what? Here's the funny part. I'm on slide 3 right now. I promise they get a lot quicker after this, but we're on 3. So let's start with your why. Why for attending a conference? When you make the commitment to go to a conference, you're trying to set yourself up for some long-term success. You really need to have a why because your time is your most valuable resource and you need to spend it wisely, right? Nope, wrong one. Other books buried on the shelf. I'm not going to dig for it. Start with why. Do we have Simon Sinek fans here? I am a huge fan of Start With Why. And I think that's how I get pulled into so many projects because it matters. Why are some organizations and some people far more innovative and influential and more profitable than others? And Start With Why, it tells you that people that, in order to lead well, you have to show your audience what's in it for them first. What you need to determine in attending a conference is, what is your why? I can help you make all the connections when we're in person and source the education for you. And I hope you enjoy the experience. But if you don't go to a conference with a solid idea of what you personally value and what would make this experience the most fruitful for you, you don't have a clear goal in mind. And you're going to spend a whole lot of time at this event shaking hands and getting really, really amped up. And you're going to be high on that speaker adrenaline. And when that final day comes to a close, you might find yourself without anything that you actually value other than good memories. I'm not going to let that happen, and especially not here at VETSOCIAL, okay? There's too much good stuff going on to let things fall through the cracks. So let's talk strategy and long-term goals, because this is where my superpowers lie. Figuring out what motivates you. What do you need to get out of this conference in order to call it a success? Now we're going on slide 4. We're going to get to all this goodness. Yeah. All right. Here's some possibilities, what you might consider when attending conferences. One of my goals is to connect with lighthearted people always. And especially when you're in the military space, if you're in it to connect with me, I would love to find you on LinkedIn. So at Lauren Hope Collective, look, it's under my name. There you go. You can find me on LinkedIn. Next slide. So next, we're going to transition into how to action on all of those goals. How are you going to grow your business? In no particular order, because of course I don't actually have them organized. I'm going to share all of my best organizational tips for how to process and move forward so you don't get stuck post-conference. Next slide, please. All right. I'm not going to tell you that life is going to stop being messy, because it won't. But I am here to show you all of these. I mean, I think they're simple systems because I've been practicing them since, the 3rd grade. But I want to help you capture ideas and hold on to them, the ones that matter most to you, and how to move forward in the chaos, even when life doesn't slow down. Because resilience and entrepreneurship is what's really going to get you through. It's not about having your calendar sorted or never being interrupted. Resilience is about having a system that can still carry you forward even when you can't. Next slide. We're going to dive into some of these here. All right. That's what I want to share with you guys today. And we'll start with the framework. These thoughts pass through my mind at all times. It's literally how I process things. Filters can help you decide what to hold on to and what to act on right away. So here's the system that I use to help those ideas not evaporate. Let's see. If I'm going to be really honest with you, attending conferences like this is like drinking from a fire hose, right? There are so many good ideas. And let's be clear, they're not all for you. So just own that right now. You can't have them all. You can try, but next slide here. The first one, align with your why. So your why is your anchor. And every time you hear something, I really want you to ask yourself, does this matter to me? I mean, really, does it align with the business you're building or the lifestyle that you want? Without that filter, you're going to end up with everyone else's goals scribbled in a notebook. And you'll capture too much. There is such a thing as too much. So I want you to pause right now and think of 3 words that describe your why for being here. And maybe it's clarity and growth or connection, right? I want you to keep those 3 words visible, maybe like a literal Post-it note just stuck on the side of your computer. Those are going to be your compass. And if you don't know what your why is, that's absolutely okay. Hoard all of the ideas that sound brilliant to you. I will teach you how to sort those out in a minute, because really, I'm an idea hoarder too. And I'm going to share like 4 of them today that are really actually kind of embarrassing, but moving on. Next slide, we have our shiny objects, and we're going to sort them out. Let's see. I told you I have ADHD, and that means there are literally good ideas everywhere. Like of those 4,032 open tabs, which I'm pretty sure there's 37 now, 4,037, over half of them are good ideas. And the reality is they're not all good ideas unless they're actioned at the right time, right? And a good idea that's launched too early is just a failure that's waiting to happen. A good idea that's fully baked, though, is dangerous. So I'd like to think that's where some of the strength and chaos comes in that they were saying earlier. So how do I sort the good ideas? I have something called a good idea parking lot, a literal digital parking lot. I use Monday.com as just like a, lifestyle app for me. And one of my spreadsheets in there is every time I have a good idea, I'm like, you know what? We're going to park that right there, because it's not a good idea for today. It's not. What's a good idea for today are the things that I put on my to-do list that I have to get to done. But when the timing's right, I'm going to open that parking lot back up and pull that idea out, and it's going to be magical. So don't let all the shiny objects pull you off course this week. Okay. Next slide. We're going to capture our action steps. When you hear something that you like at this conference, and again, you're going to hear a lot of it, I have found the best way to actually get motivated to start on things is to write down the good idea, but then also right below it, what is the first smallest possible step I could take to make that step happen, right? So if it is, like, say you're in a social media course and someone's telling you how to launch that amazing podcast, but first you have to write a content calendar. Well, writing a content calendar can be simple if you're experienced at it, but can be a really big step if you're not. So take that and say, okay, I'm just going to start jotting ideas down for content. And Travis, do you know what is sitting in my good idea parking lot? Is probably about 75 different podcast episodes that I eventually want to record, because they're those good ideas that are just slowly baking until it's ready to go, right? By having that little step lined up, it's everything. You can pick up the list, take the ball, and keep on rolling, right? You know where to go once you get back to that good idea. All right. So next step here, or next slide rather. Sorry, we'll get there. We're going back to those 3 filters again. Oh, I didn't even update my slides. Fair enough. So you get the next one. It's okay. Those filters. I want you to sort out your shiny objects. I want you to use that good idea parking lot this week. And I want you to capture the next step. And that's what you're going to do in every single session that you're in right now. But next, I'm going to take you in the what do you do after the conference, and frankly, be quite a bit vulnerable here. So, all right, picking your donuts. This is one of those good ideas that I heard. It's 2010. I am not a young lady. And this came from a seasoned military spouse. Um, she was doing everything at the time. And I watched her really step back in life and get it together. And I asked her one day, I was like, okay, how do you do this? I have a newborn and a 2-year-old and I'm dying here. Help. And she said, pick your donuts. Next slide, please. We'll make you more hungry, Ryan. Thank you, guys. So pick your donuts. In a dozen donuts, I could absolutely sit down and eat a dozen. I will, I do, and I have no shame about that. I love food. I'm very food motivated. But I will be sick to my stomach if I eat all dozen, right? And so I relate this to all of life's opportunities. And instead of eating all dozen, I would much rather own 2 or 3 of them and do them insanely well and save all the rest of the donuts for my friends that I want to have a seat at the table, right? There are so many opportunities out there in life, in military, in business. Why not share them with people who bring value, right? So that's like the quick moral in the donut story. But I'm going to pour water while they go to the next slide here. And I'm going to overwhelm y'all. Back in, I think this is 2015, I had never activated the donut strategy before. But in 2015, we were stationed in New York. And I was a hot mess. I was absolutely dying, guys. This was everything that I had on my plate at the time. And you know what? It hurt. It really hurt because it was too much. I was trying to take on the world and do everything. Is that familiar to anyone? All right. So taking on too much. I couldn't do it all, or I was going to have a nervous breakdown. That's just how it was going to be. And I pulled out this magical donut analogy. And if we go to the next slide, I started doing what was probably the healthiest thing I've ever done for myself in my entire time. I literally made that last slide. This whole entire PowerPoint started as that one slide with all of the things that I had going in my life at the time. And I started literally crossing them off like this. And I started handing opportunities back because it wasn't the right opportunity for me. And I really believe that saved me. I do. The power of saying no is absolutely incredible. And whether it's life or business, you got to practice it, right? You really got to put the blinders on and say, you know, what's going to get me through this? How am I going to survive and do well? And I really started prioritizing the donuts that mattered most. And life got a whole lot better. Next slide. So I'm going to teasingly tell you that, you know, I've whittled my donuts down to a dozen, which really doesn't align with my 3 donut analogy. I know, but this is my life, right? I take on far too many things and I absolutely love doing it. And frankly, I thrive in chaos. So this is kind of where I'm at today. And these are, you know, whether you use the mason jar full of rocks and sand, these are my big rocks. These are my donuts. So I hope that you can find clarity within your business and your life to, you know, find what matters most to you. All right. Next strategy. Next slide. So this is my real secret weapon. I'm going to show you guys my personal calendar of this. So time blocking is how I do it all. We get asked to do a lot of things in life. Sometimes it's through business. Sometimes you're voluntold. Whatever the scenario is, we do a lot, right? Until you block that time on your calendar and physically show yourself how much you're actually doing, you may not be getting everything you want to do done in your life. So next slide. I thought I was busy last year, and this is roughly what my calendar looked like. But I was time blocking. I was doing it well, and I was really thriving. Next slide is it's actually my calendar for this week. So if y'all want to know if I have free time to talk, the answer is probably not, because I don't have bathroom breaks blocked in here. But at the same time, you know, you make time for those that matter most, right? This strategy has really helped me. If I'm at a conference and I say, I want to do something this week, like follow up with people afterwards, like really get on someone's calendar and make that connection, put 20 minutes on your calendar and actually make yourself do it. And real world strategy, things don't get deleted from my calendar. I know that life gets lifey. It's kind of like scheduling. I see you there, Joe. Scheduling says I'm going to do this at a certain time, right? But when I time block like this, what I'm saying is I'm committing this 20 minutes to my calendar, and I never delete things. I punt things because I don't do them all on time, very much so. I mean, in reality, at work, I have like my work to-do list that's digital that everyone sees. And then real sloppy life. Here's the paper list of the stuff that I might actually get done, because this is the stuff that I block on my calendar. I literally sit down every Sunday night and I go through my calendar for the week and say, okay, what am I really going to do? Because there's too much on here, right? And so I make the list of what matters most. I make sure that it's blocked. I move time blocks to future weeks if it's not going to happen this week. And sometimes I've just had to learn to fail with grace, and stuff falls through the cracks. It is what it is, right? So that's my take on time blocking. And, maybe it works for you. If it does, keep it. And if it doesn't, we'll move on. Next slide. Oh, Post-it notes. Okay. I'm also a huge fan of Post-it notes, because if I don't put it in, I now put things in the app, right? But if I don't put it in the app, I have to write things down. So I have a Post-it note for later. If we still have slides here, let's go with the next slide for a second. I'll show you what I actually do with the Post-its. This is kind of like the dozen donuts, but rank ordering them. When I sit down on that Sunday afternoon and I've got all the thoughts in front of me, these are how I keep my priorities straight. And it's absolutely okay to keep reordering what matters most to you, right? But if I have to make decisions and it's tough, these are the things that are on the board right now. Oh, look at that. I see you guys are way better at technology than I am. I do want to say, though, you're going to see some red marks on these Post-it notes, because I can't get it all done. I just can't. I am very human, I promise. So instead of cleaning my house, it became hire someone to clean the house. And that is a luxury I did not have growing up, right? We were Saturday mornings. That was the time to clean. But things like that. You have to find a way that's going to work for you and work for you right now. Life can change. You can alter it in the future. Don't hold yourself to it forever. But, anchor yourself in the now. Know what you can get done. And, well, the rest is just going to happen, right? For better or for worse, it'll happen. Next slide, please. All right. IVMF is going to think, they thought I was absolutely crazy when I first did this. I showed up to a conference in Salt Lake City with a roll of wrapping paper. And I sat at one of the tables in the back of the conference the entire weekend with a set of Sharpies and the roll of wrapping paper. And I have one of my many colorful scrolls. My kids know not to use the wrapping paper that has writing all over the inside, but I'm not sure if this set of slides has the pictures or not. And if it doesn't, I'll walk you guys through it. I'll set them all out in an attachment on an email or something. We'll get it there. Yeah. We're going to start with dump all the ideas. Perfect. Okay. You can do this digitally. Like, I realize I have pen and paper. I am old. I still use it a little. I'm trying to get away from it. But when you get home from the conference, dump all of the ideas, every one of them, no filter, get them out of your head. It can be messy, and it's going to be. It doesn't have to be sorted. Just start jotting them down. And this is where I took wrapping paper, because I knew I had big plans for this year, right? I did this at the end of 2024. Big plans. I dumped everything. I knew I had to get like taxes lined up for my businesses. I had to go for some licenses again, everything. And not even business related, like speaking goals were one of the things on that paper. And here we are, right? I dumped them all out. Next slide. Sorry, the slides really aren't like that wildly engaging, but it's actually kind of my cheat sheet to get us all through this in a sort of timely fashion. Once you dump all of your ideas, the wrapping paper comes from sometimes paper, right? And I'm scribbling them all out. When I was done with that brain dump at the conference while listening to all these amazing speakers and taking in the things that I wanted to do, I was left with about 12 feet of ideas. It was a lot. It was really overwhelming. But in taking that next actionable step, I found similarities amongst all the items that were there. And I opened up 10 more feet of wrapping paper, and I started crossing things off, and then I would make a group. And so it would be like 5 Financial, and I would list, do taxes, file this, do that, change the address, whatever was in the financial column, right? And so I ended up, I might have pictures of them on the next slide. We're going to find out. We're going to see how together I had it today. No, okay. Yeah, it's all right. I can send out pictures. You know what? I'll post them on social media. If you all want to go follow Instagram, I will go and air all of my scheduling laundry on Instagram today. We'll share it with you. I ended up with 10 feet of different groupings of ideas. And honestly, I took painter's tape and I taped it up on a wall in my office. And that became the giant whiteboard that was literally the to-do list. And we started crossing through things one at a time. Let's see, next slide here. Oh, there it is. Oh, sweet. Okay. So guys, welcome to, like, this is literally what the cleaned up list looked like, right? It's nothing special. I mean, I literally took these photos maybe 20 minutes before this talk started. So if I looked a little scattered, it was because I actually just wanted to show you what real life can look like. I mean, I'm pretty sure my son's gaming headphones were holding down 1/4 of the wrapping paper. So, oh my goodness. Well, so there was the to-do list for 2025. And honestly, I've checked off about half of it. I'm pretty proud of myself. I'm not going to get it all done, but I'll punt some of it next year. It'll be okay. Next slide. This is the other book. If you have not heard of the 12-week year, I'll be transparent. I'm far too ADHD to read this, but I've skimmed it and I definitely got the cliff notes on it. And the strategy behind the 12-week year is that there are 4 quarters in a year, right? If you break them down, actually go to the next one for a second. I'm sorry, guys, I have to keep saying this. This is me not being prepared in advance, but there are 4 quarters in a year and there's actually 13 weeks in every quarter. So if you plan for a 12-week quarter, you can always have a week off to yourself to do whatever you want to do. Take a vacation, catch up, get ahead. All the things that I never usually used to plan to do. So now you're going to go back one. When I was staring at that giant list of all the things to do, and it was absolutely overwhelming, but knowing I had a year to get it done, this is where I started. And I decided, what are my big 3 things? This is the 12-week year strategy. What do I want to accomplish? I happen to have a military themed jewelry company called Hope Design. So that's where some of these are. But one of them was completely resetting my products. I started my business in 2009 and we had bootstrapped it all the way up to a national brand, right? But the systems that we had in place were not the right systems anymore. We had grown slowly and steadily too much. So the store's actually closed temporarily right now. We're working on rebuilding systems in the back end because we're getting ready to scale in a way that I never even dreamed possible. But I knew there was a lot of work to do this year to get ready for 2026. So we broke those ideas down across the 4 quarters. So you take your big 3, and you decide, what 4 steps am I going to do across 1 in each quarter to make that one big idea happen? If you've ever heard the idea, eating the elephant 1 bite at a time, guys, that's what we're doing. We're just breaking everything down into digestible steps. So it's just not as big and scary, because business is scary when you think about all the things that you have to do to keep a business really up and running. All right. So we'll go to the next slide again, just for funsies. Yeah, it is. So again, you've got your 4 quarters. I clearly got a little bit distracted by another shiny object and didn't list it out on this piece of wrapping paper, but I did do it digitally because my team is remote. Not everyone's here in the jewelry studio. So we digitally listed out every single week, what are our goals? And that's what we're holding ourselves to. And again, life gets lifey and we fall behind. We'll throw it down on week 13. I clearly had plans for my sister's wedding in the spring this year. I didn't get anything done that week, but I had earned the time off and I made sure I planned for it, which I don't think most entrepreneurs do enough. All right, y'all. Let's go on with the next concept. Do we have any questions so far? Are we doing good? I am not watching chats at all, so you all have to tell me. All right. Let's roll with the next slide here, please. They're my cue cards. It's how I'm going today. Oh, building your network. Okay. You guys are at a conference. You're at a social conference online. You probably have some ambition to build out your network. And as we talk about getting distracted by all those shiny objects, you're definitely going to want to follow up after this conference with other people that you meet here along the way. Make the time to do that. I promise you, everyone that's put in the time to show up here, they at least care enough to invest in themselves and potentially their business to make the time to be here. They're probably your kind of people. So time block it, put it on your list. And if it's a good idea, fairy thing, they may not remember you in 6 months to a year, but you can try. Or just do it this week and get it done, right? Let's go with the next one. Art of the follow-up. Oh my goodness. Okay. I talk a lot about culture at the Military Influencer Conference. That is one of my behind-the-scenes roles there. When I first started attending, I absolutely loved it. And I noticed a pattern year over year of what made it special for me. And frankly, this is a similar theme that I see in IVMF. This is why I love to hang out with both of these groups, truly. I love the people who show up, and I love their why. So when we talk about the art of the follow-up, I need you to do it with authenticity. I need you to do it with intention. Don't be a creeper and instantly start selling yourself. I can't tell you how many people send me messages on LinkedIn like, hey, we should connect. We've got some similar connections. I don't know you. But if you say, hey, I really like that one thing you said, at this conference, it really hung with me. I'd love to keep in touch. That's different, right? There's just that one sentence change up that shows intention, that you really showed up for somebody. And frankly, I think the people that you guys are going to find here as you network online are going to be the right kind of battle buddies, the ones that can hold each other accountable for that giant to-do list. You can probably build out a little group that just meets up on Zoom every now and then to get through the to-do list that needs to get done, right? All right. Let's see here. If you're making an ask in your follow-up, make sure that you're crystal clear about the why behind it, because you don't have to know the person you're making the ask of in order to reach out to them. Back in 2018, I had this crazy idea called Shop Military. It was just a hashtag social media movement, right? Like maybe my friends will get on board. It'll be great, right? I was so doughy-eyed. It was so sweet. But I didn't know the first thing about protecting myself online from all of the virtual world things that can happen. I've had a lot of stuff happen between now and then, but again, that's lobby stories. I went up to the head of security at GoDaddy, who happened to be at the conference because he was a speaker, he's a veteran. And I told him about my idea. And I said, what's the first thing I need to know about protecting this brand, this asset? And I learned so much because he knew who I was and he knew my why. And he knew that this was something of value to me that was for the whole community, right? And so he was willing to help me. He didn't know me. He didn't know me, but he was willing to help. And I really appreciate that because it was my first time at the conference and someone took me seriously. So, be clear. All right, next slide. We're getting close to time here, guys. So I think I'm going to wrap it up. Let's see. Knowing your plan. I'm going to be transparent with you. I think we're going to skip here on some of the slides, if that's all right by you, because I don't have enough time to get through all of them today. So maybe we'll just have to come back. Let's see. Where do I want to hop in on the slides? You know what? I've got 20 minutes. Okay, so Travis, here's real transparency for you. I blocked my calendar today, right, for this, and I held it protectively because this is important to me, and I appreciate showing up, right? And then my largest client on my largest contract said, we're going to have a meeting with the president and the two vice presidents at 11 a.m. Eastern. So unfortunately, I have to make a really tough decision today. And it's not one that I'm proud of, but I'm going to be real with you guys. I only have like 4 more minutes. So that makes me sad. But I'm willing to own that publicly, that this is a choice that I have to make. And I'm sorry, because I value our time here together. I really do. So I hope that I get to see you all at a future event here soon. And I hope that you found something of value in our time here together today. No, you're sweet. Thank you, Travis. But there are so many good things in this world, and life is going to get lifey. It really will. Sometimes you have to put the blinders on for yourself. It's not selfish. It's putting the oxygen mask on you first so you can take care of the rest of the world, right? I'm asking you for you to do that, because in entrepreneurship, it is usually the last piece that is on our focus, right? Show up for yourself so that you're capable of showing up for other people. It's the best way to avoid burnout, truly. If y'all have any questions for me, I will hang on here for a couple more minutes. If you want to find me online, Lauren Hope Collective is my handle on pretty much every site. And I wish you all the best in whatever it is that you do. I'm absolutely here to root for you. And please introduce yourself whenever you see me in person next. I'd love to meet you.
My heart is like warm right now. And it's been like next to a glacier for like the last 30 years. So you're slowly melting what we have built up here.
Oh my God. I have ADHD. I've never felt more seen in my life. I mean, my God.
My husband is very neurotypical. And so I have realized I'm the translator for both of our neurospicy children now. And it's a wild ride to go, oh, your brain doesn't work like that. Woo-hoo! So, it's what we do.
It can be a superpower, but, like you growing up with it. It can be a superpower. It takes a lot of practice, takes a lot of lists.
Yeah.
I got a big whiteboard right over here that I have to write. I spend every morning going over this whiteboard.
Oh, I love it.
I got the same thing right here.
I never get through a single day without it. And Lauren, you just painted that picture so well. And I think you're a shining example of when someone has ADHD. I mean, really, your potential is still limitless. It might be a different path, very zigzag and here and there, and maybe you'll start this and get back to it later kind of thing. You know what I'm talking about, but you're still killing it. And you're such a great, inspiration to all of us struggling with ADHD, and how you can still turn that into being so successful as you have.
I appreciate you. I'm going to share one really fast one, because this is how I had to put it into words to my husband recently. Both our boys are very different, right? Traditional school is for one of them, like grade school. One's in middle school, one's in high school. God, it's a journey. One of them's thriving in school, and the other one, he's the struggle bus. I love him. He's got a lot of personality and spunk. But I said, it's like being a fish and trying to run a race. You're just not in the right competition. But when you find the right competition that you're supposed to be in, you are going to kick it. Right?
Oh, 100%. When you find a home for your talents, and it's got to, if you have ADHD, you have no choice but to follow your purpose and your passion, because nothing else is going to get your attention, right? Yeah. You got it. You have to be in line with that purpose. And when you find a home for it, I mean, my God, the sky will open and life will be so much easier to navigate. And so I challenge any veteran out there, especially, I just retired in February. And I challenge any veteran out there, be real with your purpose, what you're looking for, and take that chance on yourself and go for it. Because you just did all that military service. You've been all around the world, and now it's your turn. And that's the advice I got. And I finally had the courage to step away from the DOD. I took the easy route as a civilian out the gate, knowing I have ADHD, knowing that I have these limitations. And for once, I took this chance on myself, and I can be aligned with folks like Travis and you, Lauren. And it's just so worth it. So thank you for being so vulnerable too. I really felt that, when you were going through your emotions and your story, it was super powerful. So thank you so much.
Thank you all. I appreciate you. I don't really know how to be any other way, but I'm glad it resonates with the world. So thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Hey, thank you so much
gotta
for
be-
being our guest, Lauren. It's time to get you on to your biggest
I know.
client ever.
I know.
I'd hate to
Well,
have you mess that up.
That's all
Thanks so
right.
much
I'll
for being our
introduce
guest
you guys in
today.
a few weeks. You're fine. So I'll
I'll
see you at a parade
see ya,
backstage at
Nick.
Mixon. All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Take care.
See you. Wow, that
You
was
know,
awesome, Travis. What are your thoughts? How you feeling, my man?
I'm feeling a little insecure right now. I'm supposed to follow this. I'm up next, and I don't know if I even want to do it. It's the sunglasses are going on. We're protecting me.
That's your
now,
look
keeping
right
me
there, man.
safe.
That's your signature look. You with the sunglasses, bro.